Hey everyone, this is Living Well with Thomas. Today I'm going to be sharing a recipe from one of our brothers and sisters in HR. And that recipe is how to make a peanut butter and hot dog sandwich by Julian in HR. As I mentioned before, Julian is a member of our brothers, our loving brothers and sisters in HR at my job. He's a part of my loving office family. So, Julian, if you're watching, always remember that I love you and appreciate all you do to keep us on track and in lockstep with the commandments of our leadership. So, before we get into Julian's recipe, I want to give you guys a quick rundown of this video. First off, I will address why you guys haven't heard from me in a while, and as I haven't uploaded since the beginning of November, so it's been a bit. Next, we're going to go over Julian's delicious recipe and how to make that tasty meal that is also cost effective as well as nutritious. And finally, I will give you guys an update on my company and two unfortunate events that took place at a recent leadership business lunch at a local Hooters restaurant. So we'll get into that. A little bit of not good news, but there's a silver lining in all of it. But so we'll get to that at the end after the demonstration. But so without further ado, let's get this video moving. So to address why I've been away from sharing my life tips and advice with you guys lately is that at my job we've been commanded to ramp up our productivity even more. So over the holidays and as of late, I've been working 14-hour days up from my previous 12-hour days. So that's been wonderful. As the more time I'm allowed to spend with my work family at my desk and seated in my computer chair and obeying the orders of my leadership, the better for me. But with that being said, I've still been sleeping in the office every night in my computer chair, every night, every week. So that's been great as well. Just one unfortunate thing though is my back pain is actually still there and has actually gotten a little worse. And now I'm experiencing some even sharper back pains and also some numbness in both of my arms. But that's no big deal, as even with the numbness, I still have full use of my hands for my computer and mouse, so I can still do my job. So that's great. Actually, leadership said that if I completely lose feeling in either hand, that they would approve a sick day for me so I can get this issue checked out at the doctor. So happy for that and appreciative that they would do that for me and let me step away from my job to get this thing figured out. Unfortunately, I also coincidentally developed this other issue, and I'm sorry if this is a little graphic, but I developed several what's called bed sores on my backside, and to top that off, I also have developed a severe case of what they call diaper dermatitis, and that's more commonly known as diaper rash. And for those two issues, I did see the doctor on a weekend, and they basically told me that I need to get up more from the computer chair and while I'm working, and I need to keep on top of changing my diaper and not going through the whole workday without changing it. So I asked leadership if it was okay for me to get up and change my diaper maybe once or twice a day while at my desk, and luckily they did approve that request. So I'm very thankful for them to allow me to take time away from my work, change my diaper once or twice a day. So yeah, that's I don't think I ever mentioned that to you guys. So that's another thing to mention. Maybe I should have mentioned this before talking about the diaper dermatitis, but is that to with my job, at the increased productivity needs, now we're all required to wear diapers. So no more needless bathroom time for men, unless it's to fill up our drink bottles or a bag of water and the bathroom sink at the office. The another thing to note though is the excuse me guys, the women are still allowed to access the bathrooms though, as leadership has stated that we need the women work family members to use the bathroom and still keep up using our company's new state-of-the-art AI motion analyzing bathroom technology. So, that all being said, you can clearly see I've been very busy as of late and doing my life's mission and purpose for my company. And fortunately, I'm developing some surprise medical issues as well. But at the end of the day, all is well, as none of these issues have interfered with my productivity at work. So, very, very happy that that is the case. So now it's time for the main attraction of the video, and that is Julian from HR's peanut butter and a hot dog sandwich. So let's jump right into making this sandwich from Julian, one of our brothers and sisters in HR. Very thankful for him, to him, not for to. Well, we're thankful for him, of course. We're also thankful to him for sharing this recipe with me and all you guys out there. One thing to note is that this is like if you're in a rush to get to the office real quick and you don't have time to heat up the hot dogs. Is these are fully cooked, so they're not heated up, but that's okay. So if we're in a rush, we could make them like that, and just they're already fully cooked, so it's no big deal. So actually, Julian, he says most of the time when he makes the hot dog sandwich, he'll take it with the hot dogs uncooked like that, because he just wants to get to his job and not spend time wasting time heating up the hot dogs. And also another thing was we'll kind of go over making this sandwich as if you just pack the ingredients and you're going to set it up. You make it right at your lunchtime at work. So no wasting time making it at home when you can make it at work. So we'll show you how to do that at your job, how to make that sandwich. So here we go. Got the 2 pieces of bread here. Gonna want 2 pieces of bread to make a sandwich. That's Julian's favorite. It's got to be the 2 pieces of bread. Probably say the second favorite would probably be maybe a tortilla for it, but 2 pieces of bread is, it's a sandwich. Really, really, really got to be 2 pieces of bread. So first off, we'll get that peanut butter for peanut butter hot dog sandwich. So we're gonna want to get enough for those pieces of bread. Get that, getting a little low on the peanut butter here, but it's okay. We'll just get that peanut butter on out. Get enough for, it's enough for this peanut butter and hot dog sandwich. Gonna need that peanut butter to make that peanut butter hot dog sandwich. Gonna get that. Got a little bit on my hands, no big deal. Could always wipe it off. If you're at your job, you could always use, if you have paper towels in the bathroom and your leadership allows you to go to the bathroom and allows you to take the paper towels, and you could use those. Whatever cleaning method for your hands that your management allows you to do, allows you to use the bathroom, or however you are allowed to clean. So I'd say it's probably it seems about enough for the size of the bread. I'd say it's about the same size, so maybe a little bit more. Got that in there. A little bit on the hands, no big deal. Clean it up. Like I said, those paper towels from the office bathroom always coming in handy. So yeah, this is more an appropriate amount for that peanut butter hot dog sandwich. About the same size as the bread, I'd say. Got that. Well, now the hot dogs, so we're not going to put the hot dogs on there just like this. We're going to make it so they're more evenly dispersed throughout the sandwich. So, normally if you're at home, you could use a knife to cut them up. But, at my office and maybe some of your offices out there, we not really allowed to use knives or or any other utensils. I mean, we could use a spoon, but sorry, got a loud car going by. Hopefully that's not on the camera, but we'll just wait for that, And he is gone now. Okay, so at the office, we're not allowed to use knives. There's no knives or forks allowed in the office for danger reasons. So to cut without a knife, we could just go. So I'll show you two methods. I'll do one for each hot dog. So one method is just to kind of just use your hands and the fingers of your hands and break them like this. Break that hot dog apart. Break it into little pieces. We're gonna get ready for the sandwich. So little pieces. We don't want anybody to choke. So that's good. And then the next method is, now this is another option from the break apart method. This is the kind of try to mimic a knife. So you're gonna go like that. Kind of use your fingers as a knife. Just break them off. Well, maybe these hot dogs are a little tough. They're not as tender as some other ones, so it's not really working so well. But let's see if. All right, guys. My hands a lot of times are sore from my work. I'm always on the computer, so to that method, see, it works. But if you get more tender hot dogs, these maybe were a little bit tough cut of meat, and it didn't really work. So I actually kind of hurt my hand. All right. So we got that. We use the break apart. So sorry, guys. So as you can see, the cut does work. It's just these are tough hot dogs. So that's all. So we got that. All right. So hot dogs are prepared. Peanut butter's prepared. Now we got to assemble the sandwich. So bread here. Let's get that peanut butter. Got just the size of the bread, so it'll go on there very easy since we already got the correct size for the bread. That peanut butter on there. Sorry, guys. Just dropping it here. Get that peanut butter on the bread. The peanut butter on the bread. Sorry, guys. I'm dealing with that sharp back pain. Hunched over the counter here. Sharp back pain from, as you guys know, if you've seen my one video, and I talked about it in the beginning of the video. Don't know why I have that sharp back pain, but I just got that sharp back pain. Got the numbness in my arms, but I'm able to use my hands, as you can see. So the arms, sometimes they feel like they want to give, but it's okay because we got full use of the hands. All right, so we got the peanut butter base. Now bring it on that over. And we're going to put the hot dogs on. Just try to put them evenly. Let's try to just bring this over to the camera now. Got front and center peanut butter hot dog sandwich. Yep, that's centered. For you guys. Show you guys how to make it. From our loving brother and sister, Julian. That piece fit back like that. And there it is. Well, and the thing is, yeah, okay, so hold on. I'm trying to reference Julian's recipe here. So yeah, he says, so once you got the hot dogs on the peanut butter, and don't put the top, or Julian, he said the lid. Don't put the lid, it means the top piece of bread. Don't put it on yet. You're gonna want to add a little bit more peanut butter. So we have, I guess I kind of messed up. All right, we'll just go straight from here. Got there's only a little bit of peanut butter left. I think we got enough. Yep, got that on there, and just spread it. Okay, if the hot dogs fall off, just push them back on. You spread them on. So this is so the other piece of bread, or the lid, as Julian calls it, will stay on, and peanut butter so the piece of bread doesn't slide off. And the piece of bread doesn't slide off when you take your first bite, and then you just got this one. No, it's I got an open face hot dog peanut butter sandwich with no lid. There we go. That's that sandwich, and like I said, no knives or forks in my office because of the danger threat that they pose to everyone. So if you want to cut it in half, you could try that method here. Kind of mimic a knife. You just mimic a knife with your hand, and look at that. So we got a nice cut here, and break open this sandwich, and you can see how that looks if you're going to take a bite. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make that sandwich as much as I enjoyed showing you guys how to make it. Always very grateful to Julian. He's just the best. From our brothers and sisters in HR, sharing that wonderful recipe with us. And again, Julian, if you're watching, always remember that I love you and appreciate all you do for us, and how you keep us up to date with the latest commandments sent down to us from leadership. Also, one more thing to mention, and I'm sure Julian feels the same way too, is that I'm so thankful to our company that they do pay us for our jobs. So that since they do pay us for our jobs, we are able to afford these nutritious foods like the hot dogs here. At the end of the day, really, we're at the mercy of our very powerful leadership, but we are lucky that they love us, their work family, so much. So now to wrap things up, I'll let you guys know about the 2 recent unfortunate events that took place at my company. Now, some of you may have heard about these events, some may have not, but either way, I'll get the facts straight, and you'll get the facts straight from someone on the inside, so to speak. First off, recently leadership was in town visiting our office location. And that was great as usual, as we're always so excited when our leadership visits, and just to get a glimpse of the highest quality, extraordinarily intelligent, and sound decision-making human beings that they are. We always feel just so fortunate to have them bless us with the visit to our location. So as has happened before at these lunches, when our leadership visits, they go out and they go out to a local restaurant for a business lunch. And the restaurant they usually go to, and the most common location, is our local Hooters restaurant. So they went to the Hooters as usual this past time to discuss, important business developments and new innovative ideas over a good meal. A real meeting of the extraordinarily sharp minds. Fortunately, things started off on a sour note shortly after leadership arrived. To give you guys a little background information, our leadership always get a certain area reserved at this Hooters location when they are in town, and they did the same thing this time. And that, of course, includes letting Hooters know how many leaders will be dining there. And well, they did that as usual when making reservations in advance. And then they also informed Hooters to make sure there is 1 extra chair available for our CEO, as he always needs to sit with 2 chairs placed side by side under him. One thing to note, our CEO, he's a big and mighty and powerful man. So he needs to have 2 chairs to support all that power that he has in him. So let's fast forward now to leadership has shown up on the day of the business lunch. But when they got to the Hooters on the day of the business lunch, Hooters management informed them that they were short 1 chair and that our CEO will have to just settle for 1. Well, of course, that didn't go over well, and he made a big fuss and threatened to sue and put that location out of business. But at the end of the day, our CEO, and I'm going to tell you guys this: the rest of the leadership and our CEO, actually have a long-standing partnership with Hooters, as that is where they source the majority of our company's executive secretaries. Meaning the secretaries that support our leadership. So our CEO found it in his heart to let this instance slide and told them that he would, despite his mighty power, try to sit on just one chair and see how it goes. But he said that if anything happens to him because of only having one chair, that he will be suing. So Hooters manager agreed to that, and he guaranteed that the chair will be able to support all the power of our CEO. Well, after about 5 minutes in the chair, while our CEO, he was getting his picture taken with a group of waitresses behind him, the chair, fortunately, snapped and cracked, and 3 of the legs broke out from under him, and his seat violently swung back. Then our CEO, our commander, head leader, swung backwards with the chair and smacked back down on the floor, and then rolled into the legs of 2 waitresses behind him and knocked them over onto the ground as well. And on top of that, the sudden shock of the chair breaking from under him, fortunately, it caused him to wet his pants, and everyone, everyone could see in the front of his slacks they were just completely soaked down to the ankles. And sadly, that's not even all. It's not even all. The sudden swing backwards and the shock of his body slammed down to the floor, and it knocked off his toupee. And then the toupee, it landed in a puddle. He had a drink he was holding while he was taking the picture. The drink fell, and the toupee landed in the puddle of the drink. Absolutely terrible. And I'll be honest with you guys, kind of been just rough getting through this, and getting through this one. Just telling you guys. Sorry guys, I had to gain my composure there, as we kind of getting broke up before, and just because I just love our CEO so much and hate to see anything bad happen to him. So, but on a positive note, I want to let you guys know that before anyone who's watching this starts worrying about our leader and all those terrible things I just described that happened to him, and I want to let you guys know that he is completely fine, and there were no major injuries other than some bruises. So we're all very relieved and very thankful. Fortunately, on the other hand, though, the 2 waitresses he rolled into, one suffered a broken leg, and sadly the other had both her legs broken from getting rolled over. So, needless to say, there will be a major lawsuit now for my company against Hooters, as they guaranteed the chair could support a man of our CEO's great power, but obviously that wasn't the case. Now, I almost don't blame Hooters, as a lot of the time, me or maybe other employees of our company, we sometimes forget how much intense power our CEO, he really has inside of him, and we underestimate how formidable and strong he is. But the decisions he makes for us, they always remind us of his power and reminds us of why we all follow him and look to him to guide us on the path for our future. So when you really think about it, if us as devoted followers of our CEO could forget, then I guess it's understandable how a local Hooters manager could underestimate that power. But fortunately, they did make a guarantee, and now they will have to be punished by our leadership. Well, if you guys thought that was enough bad events, I'm sorry to tell you that there's just one more that happened later at that lunch. So here we go. In the aftermath of our CEO's broken chair, being the mighty man that he is, decided to tough it out and stay for the rest of the lunch, especially since Hooters is his favorite restaurant. So 2 lower level executives, they gave up their chairs and decided to stand for lunch so our CEO could have his 2 seats at the head of the table, his rightful place. And from there, everything was going well. They all got their food and ordered drinks to help give their brains even more of an intelligence boost. And while they're discussing important new company developments, and it was all going well. The two waitresses who got injured, they got taken to the hospital. Our CEO was back at his rightful spot at the table on two chairs. His toupee basically all dried up from the drink that it landed in. His pants were starting to dry up. Everything was going great. Then our CFO maybe had a couple too many intelligence boosting beverages, and now I'm not going to get into a lot of graphic detail with this one, but long story short is that how our company is suing Hooters. Well, now Hooters has a lawsuit against us because, long story short, our CFO now he has multiple sexual assault charges for his conduct with some of the Hooters waitresses. And now I'll admit he was wrong, but he did put out a public statement today following the business lunch incident, and actually have that pulled up here, and I'll read that exact statement to you guys, so maybe you can understand where he's coming from and maybe have some compassion on him like I do. All right, guys, so I got it pulled up here on my phone. Here is his statement, our CFO's statement following the incident. Friends, first and foremost, I want to apologize for my actions against multiple Hooters waitresses during our Leadership Summit business lunch yesterday. My actions do not reflect who I am or what our company stands for. Unfortunately, there was a misunderstanding as we have a long-standing partnership with Hooters through our executive secretaries of the Future program. So being that we received so many executive secretaries who were previously Hooters waitresses through this program, I must have incorrectly thought that these young women were a part of that program and were about to be transferred to our company to become secretaries. So with that being the understanding I was under at the time, I was just interested in mentoring the young women and helping them get prepared for the job requirements of an executive secretary. Now I want to make it completely clear that I was wrong, and that even if these young women were a part of that program, they were still Hooters waitresses at the time and not secretaries for our company just yet. So I am full of regret in that sense, as it was inappropriate for me to behave that way towards them, as they have not yet become secretaries. And to the young women who I offended, I am truly sorry for the misunderstanding. I apologize and hope you will still consider our executive secretaries of the Future program. Thank you all for your compassionate understanding at this time. So that was his statement, guys, and his response. And as you can see, it was a very unfortunate, basically just a misunderstanding, as you heard what I read. And I guess it could have happened to anyone, being the type of leadership role he's in. Seeing that how our company does have that Hooters waitress to secretary program, so I guess it's understandable how he had that. He thought that they were going to be secretaries. So I'm not going to hold that one against him. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and it's great to be back sharing all these wonderful life tips with you all and sharing all the latest news involving my company and my life's mission for them. And as always, if you're interested in learning about more ways to improve your life, be sure to check out my other videos and stay tuned for the next one. So for now, this has been Living Well with Thomas, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.